It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got some history in this battle of AFL alumni. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, and it's coming up next.
Oh, they indeed love their football here in upstate New York as you get a look inside Rocket Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
And we are underway in Buffalo. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Here's the Chiefs offense for their first possession, and it's Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
And simply put, for many, he's the gold standard for quarterbacks in today's NFL because of his ability to create, find the open man, use all the different arm angles that he has. He's a complete package, and boy, his team loves to play around him. Man coverage to start the game, and I expect we'll see a good amount of that. They trust their secondary to hold down the fort and let their pass rushers get home, and that's a good job right on play one.
2nd and 10. Now Mahomes. Throw over the middle, caught by the tight end Gray. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
They went to their big body tight end on 2nd down in hopes that he could plow his way to a 1st down. But they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
An early test, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. They'll try for the first with Pacheco. And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. That one good for 12 yards in a Kansas City first. 3rd and short, so didn't need much, but got a little extra on the backside. Nice run.
Chewed up the yardage, didn't he? To me, that was offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the 3rd play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3 and out and did just that. That's complete. It's Travis Kelce. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. Throwing now is Mahomes. That's complete. Left side to Worthy. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Mahomes now to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Rashee Rice from 4 yards out. And the Chiefs have taken the early lead on the road here in Buffalo. Well, down here, I thought they were going to hand that off. Instead, a well-designed play and the pitch and catch for the touchdown.
And I wonder who came up with it. Was it a call from the bench? Did the quarterback have a good idea and suggest it? In any event, clearly an effective play call. They saw something they liked in coverage, and they targeted it for the short yardage throw.
And the perfect way to cap their opening drive. Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. For the Buffalo offense coming out, and it is Josh Allen who is at the helm.
And in this league, there are many quarterbacks who have their most success running the ball, while there are others who have big arms. There aren't too many guys who can do both, and at the end of many games, this guy leads his team not just in passing, but in rushing as well.
And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
In motion goes the tight end. Now Allen. He's got his man. That's the rookie from Florida State. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Here is 3rd down and 4. Allen has his man. It's Shakir. And he is going to have a Bills first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on 3rd down. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game. Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. They run for the first time with James Cook. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
3rd and 5. Here's Allen to throw it. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 42. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
Allen going to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Chris Jones, now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. So now make that a 2nd sack for them on this drive.
And, Brandon, we hear it every week when we go out to do a game. Everyone talks about playing complementary football. Their offense goes down and scores. They see that, and they want to back them up, and that they did, getting 2 sacks on this first drive.
So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. Back to throw. Allen. Now he fires deep for Shakir. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen 1 touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
4th down, so Jake Camarda is out there. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey. And Kelsey's going to have a Chiefs first down as the tackle made up near the 35. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. In motion, the tight end. Mahomes going to throw. And that's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Kelsey, and it's 3rd and short. To throw, it's Mahomes. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 43. A 3rd down conversion with a strong gain of 14.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
A really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one. It's a nice completion and a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Now it's Mahomes again. Swings this out for Hunt. 7 yards there and a first down. Had the offense humming on the first drive. Not much has changed here on drive number 2.
No, and I think a lot of times confidence just really kicks in for a team. They may have been confident going into the game, but once you prove it on a drive, it's hard to get out of that mindset, isn't it? And look, let's face it, we can always lock in on the skill position, guys. But those big fellas up front, they're really making this offense go early in the game.
And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Pacheco once again. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, you know they had a third down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
Now here's Mahomes. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Anytime they think they've got him open beyond the markers, you know they're going to throw it his way. And that's not going to change even after that incompletion was forced.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Mahomes to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That's Gregory Rousseau getting in there to bring him down.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will remain a 1-touchdown game.
Trying to build on that opening drive touchdown, but the drive stalls out. And then you get the missed field goal here, so they wind up with nothing to show from drive number 2.
So here come the Bills out for their 2nd drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Now Allen. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Yeah, that's a good start to drive number 2. Remember, they had to punt the first time they had it. So maybe a little bit different sense of purpose here. And they start out with a nice gain and a quick first down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Motion man is Shakir. To the air, Allen. Shakir hauls it in. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now in Buffalo. It's the Bills in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. A give to Cook out of the gun, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's George Karlaftis greeting him behind the line with a big stop. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Chiefs are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
KC's offense ready to take over. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And this is caught. It's Brown. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage. 17 on the play.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
A quick throw caught by Rice. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. So nothing doing there, and it'll be second down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch, those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. Ed Oliver busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Going to need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. They'll set up a throw. That'll be caught by Rice. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They gave up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 4th down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Now Mahomes. This will be caught once again by Brown. And the Chiefs are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Touchdown! Xavier Worthy from 3 yards out. And the Chiefs have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself, no reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Butker now to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Allen. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Allen. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here now, 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's Allen. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, get me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it.
Automatic first down.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Allen. He'll dump this off to Cook. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. Sean McDermott didn't hesitate. They'll go for it on 4th. They'll run with Davis, and he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. No dice for Sean McDermott and the offense. And the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop. Well, down 2 touchdowns already. I guess they felt they needed to go for it, but still early, still first half.
I think conventional wisdom says, look, as you point out, you got a whole half to play. Hang in there. Don't give up any more points in this situation. Do a little adjusting at the half and come out ready to go. But sometimes those coaches can just sense their team. Maybe they're a little flat or they need a little extra inspiration. And he decided to go for it there to try and kickstart things.
Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll send a tight end in motion right. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete. Noah Gray, the intended receiver, but it's going to be 2nd down. Mahomes now to throw. Into space at the 45 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Headed straight, it's Pacheco. And he'll take it across midfield and into Buffalo territory. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Finding Gray going across the field. And he's got a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 26. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, normally you see 3 tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or 2 towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelsey, 26 yards. And the Chiefs have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it all the way to the end zone.
Butker on for the PAT. And it is now 21-0. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it culminates in a Travis Kelsey touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Allen now looks to throw. And complete right side to Cook. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be second down. Allen off the play fake. That is complete downfield to Knox. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1. This is first and goal, and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Here's Allen to throw it. Rolling to his left. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack, taken down at the 2. Mike Pennell in there to drop him for a loss on the play.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Allen going to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. A very costly sack there on 3rd and goal. Pushes him back big time. And now you'd figure the field goal team coming on 4th.
So once again, they dial up the pressure and get home and get a sack. It brings up a 3rd and long, but it's really not an unmakeable one, especially considering they just gave up back-to-back sacks.
Two straight sacks have them backed up now for a 3rd and goal. Throwing now is Allen. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
So on 4th down, off goes Allen. On comes Tyler Bass for the Buffalo field goal. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. The kick by Bass is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. Now maybe a moral victory of sorts. They're on the board here late in the first half, but this offense just hasn't looked that sharp.
Yeah, but at least they got the 3 points, right? At least they have something to, quote-unquote, hang their hats on and maybe feel a little bit better about themselves as they head to the half.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Chiefs offense and Patrick Mahomes headed back onto the field. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change. So I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Chiefs on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bills trail here, but they will get the football first as we are back underway on EA Sports. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 40, right around the 39, so solid starting field position. Buffalo set to get the football back here. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
I don't know how well our microphones are picking it up for those of you at home, but Charles, you and I can hear it. A lot of groans right now coming from this crowd.
I don't know if we're picking up what's happening in the stadium or from the people who are supporting this team at home, because it's coming through loud and clear to you and me. This offense, they've been stuck in neutral much of the game, and not in that last play. They actually went in reverse. I think this crowd would have liked neutral, don't you?
Yeah, neutral would have strongly been preferred. They'll take anything positive at this point.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To the air, Allen. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. The Chiefs offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. Mahomes going to throw. Pass to Brown. He's got it on the crossing route. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
That felt like a trap, because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
2nd and 9.
To throw, it's Mahomes. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Ed Oliver able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush, because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
After the sack, things get a little tougher here. 3rd and long for Mahomes and the Chiefs. They're going to look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback, because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
Here's the Chiefs punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be second down. To throw, it's Allen. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Now Allen. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, obviously searching for their first touchdown this game, partner. And that quick 3 and out, that's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that third down snap.
The Bills send the punter out as he's on here to punt it away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line.
And the Chiefs offense ready to go again. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. From the 23, here's a 2nd and 5.
Throwing now is Mahomes.
That ball caught. It's Rice.
And he's finally taken down, but not before he reaches the 14. A big play there on the catch and run. 63 yards.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now here's Mahomes. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Chiefs add 6 to their lead. Well, partner, he has carried them in this ball game throwing the football. All 4 touchdowns through the air. And that's really helped them get this nice lead.
And I know it's a team game, but right now, he is truly the focal point. Every touchdown his team has so far has been the result of his arm. How about him throwing it downfield, creating big plays? I don't know how you slow him down unless you can make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And they open the lead up now to 25. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Bills ready to take over. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. So the shotgun snap to Allen. Has his man, it's Shakir. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll make it 3rd down. Here's Allen. That is caught. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Now that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the marker and picked up the first down.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The decision to keep it turns out to be a good one. 11 yards in the first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Motion man is Shakir. Now Allen. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 26. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion. A lot of ground left to make up, obviously. A lopsided contest, and we're already in the 3rd quarter. And they won't get it all back in one play or one drive. That's cliche, but it's true, Charles. If they can just maybe get plays like that and get a little momentum built, they can get the scoreboard a little closer.
And can you add some blinders to the cliche, meaning keep these guys from looking at the scoreboard, because that doesn't help them at all right now. Their focus needs to be on finishing every drive with points and playing mistake-free football from here on out.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, Cook. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Palmer going in motion right. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
So on 4th down, off goes Allen. On comes Tyler Bass for the Buffalo field goal. He connected on his first, this from 41. The kick by Bass is good. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, Are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Second down, 8 to go from the 28. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Here's Mahomes to throw. This will be caught once again by Brown. His big game continues. 10 catches now and another first down. Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Now Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. It's Rice. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards.
And this is what it's been like all game long. Guys running free in the middle of the field. This defense has just had no answer for this passing game. And that's another good hookup there.
So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Pacheco gets it up the gut, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Pacheco gets it again on second down. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 58 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react. They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
We're in the third quarter in upstate New York with a 2nd and 10. Mahomes now to throw. He'll check this one down to Pacheco. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Working from the gun, Mahomes. To the sideline and incomplete.
Tight defense there on 3rd down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range, no sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And that is no good. And that'll keep this a 22-point game. Well, it's still a good-sized lead, so they haven't necessarily needed him, but this is now 2 missed field goals for him in this game so far.
Yeah, and the question now is, will he be prepared when they do need him? Whether that's later in this game or sometime down the line, having a kicker you can count on is definitely imperative.
And now out come the Bills. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. From the 41, here's 2nd and 4. They'll try the right side here with Davis. And only a couple for him there as the tackle is made at the 42.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Allen now looks to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Bills first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Play action. Now it's Allen. And this one is going to be off the mark. Too far out in front.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From midfield, here's Allen. And his throw here's incomplete. You know, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Allen to throw once more. Open man, it's Palmer. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
Now Allen, gotta have this one. He's got his target. That's complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad. That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
They just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
From the gun, it's Allen. Looking middle, and that's complete. And the Bills are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Now, defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
And this one incomplete. Oh, he couldn't hang on to it in the end zone, and that's one that'll haunt you. And now it brings up third down. They'll try the middle with Cook. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And now here comes Kansas City. And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable fourth quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. They'll run for it with Davis. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Ray Davis punching it in from a yard away. And the Bills are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. This defense held out as long as they could, but ultimately the running game wears them down from the 1-yard line.
And that gets set up throughout the entire drive, doesn't it? And when you put those big bodies and determination into that carry, the end result, touchdown.
So now Allen and the Bills going to stay out and go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone. And that cuts the lead a bit further. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. They'll start the drive here with Pacheco. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 64 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. And this is caught. It's Brown. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
And this is seemingly how it's been all game long. This defense has been just a step too slow. And here they're burned again. Another big play.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 37-yard line.
A give right side for Pacheco.
And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
That was Terrell Bernard navigating his way to the backfield and dropping him for a loss.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside, and he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd down and 12. To throw, it's Mahomes.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he's got a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 19. With that, he's up to 160 yards receiving now for the ball game. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Mahomes going to throw.
That's into the hands of Worthy.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Mahomes to throw once more. This is caught. Touchdown.
Rashee Rice.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Chiefs have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up 1st downs, and if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Butker now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
The Bills getting set to go.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From the 43, it's 2nd and 3.
They'll give to Cook on the read option.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
They need 2. Here's third down. Allen going to throw. Got a man. It's complete. It's Palmer. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Throwing now is Allen. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bills' drive stalls out on 4th down. And the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. Now, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
Give them a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down. Here's the Chiefs punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Bills going to take over again on offense. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. Allen. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Working out of the shotgun, here's Allen. Shakir hauls it in. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Completes to Shakir once again. And he is going to have a Bills 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. So So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Now Allen.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Now Allen. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
A great job defensively taking away his receivers, and he was forced to put that one into Lake Erie, but that's what good quarterbacks do. They don't take unnecessary chances if they don't have to.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Allen to throw it. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. One final try here for Allen, and it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Here's Pacheco headed right. Brought down by Ed Oliver.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
2nd and 5. Again, it's Pacheco.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd down, it's Pacheco.
That he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And really, it looked at times like they just had this one in cruise control out there.
They deserve a ton of credit because you and I both know, heck, they knew. This is a tough place to play. Overcame that with ease, romped home with an easy win. And here's the best part for them. It'll be easy to get to the airport because the crowd left pretty early in this one, didn't they?
Well, plus they have a police escort.
Okay, you had to spoil that part of it. Of course, they're going to get there. But think about how wide open things are now because this crowd didn't expect this.
No.
So they went back to the tailgate and said, let's go eat. This one didn't any fun for us.
Yeah, they took the drama out of this one pretty early on. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.